Hi Stampers, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc, and last week on my blog I posted this card with the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set, and I had a person ask how I did the greeting, and I've been getting that question a lot on how to do the white on black and how to get that look. So I thought today I would show you a quick tutorial on how I get that look. Now I can do this on my scan and cut, but to be very honest, it doesn't give me great results. So before I start, I'm going to show you what happened when I did one of these with my scan and cut. So the same one that I'm going to show you today, this is the greeting, and you can see it cut these apart right here. And then the other thing I want to show you, hopefully you can see this, the edge is really uneven. So see how those are very jagged along there. So I get better results just fussy cutting that, but I will show you some tips on how to do that and get a great result. So I am using this Just Say Hello stamp, and that is from the Tasteful Touches stamp set, which is right here. And as you can see, there's a lot of great images with that. And I always like to use larger words. The smaller your words, the harder this technique is to do. But if you use a big saying, it's pretty easy. So, and I also wanted something that would show up well for the video. So I'm going to start with my Stamparatus, and I need a black piece of cardstock. So I just keep some of my scraps handy for that. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in place with my magnet. And I am using a Versamark ink pad. This is my favorite to use for embossing. So I'm just going to ink that stamp up and close that up. And generally with the foam mounted stamps, I get a pretty good image the first time. All right, I'm going to take that out and I will set this aside. The great thing is if I did miss a spot there, I can always go back and do that a second time. So I am using Whisper White embossing powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle that on. Now, if you're wondering, in the past I would have used the embossing buddy, but since we no longer carry that, I'm going to show you another tip I have, just in case your embossing doesn't turn out the way that you really wanted it. Got a little spot over here I want to get on the tail end of that. Okay. All right, so if you see any loose spots, go ahead and, brush off what you can, but don't worry about that because we will take care of them later. So the next step is using the embossing tool. I sped it up so you didn't have to listen to that the whole time. So once you're finished, everything should be pretty glossy on there. Make sure you look for any stray marks, and if you do end up with any stray white marks on there, just use a black Sharpie pen to cover those, and that works great to clean that up. So my next tip is to take a Stampin' Chalk marker, and this one doesn't show up super dark on my paper, so it's great for sketching out where I'm going to want to cut. So I'm just going to start drawing around all of the edges of my words. So I'm doing this kind of almost around each letter, but not right next to it. I want a little bit of a border on that, but by doing this first, it allows me to know where to cut. So I'm just sketching that out. Once you get the hang of this, you might be able to skip that step, but it just makes it so much easier. So I sped that one up too because, again, it was hard for me to keep the camera straight for you to see that. But this is what your finished result looks like, and you just add that to a card. I've got several examples to show you with some projects that I've been working on lately. You've seen this one on my blog, thestampdoc.com, and it features the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set. So this one was one of the first that I did. The next one is a card pouch that I'll be featuring soon, and that is the close-up of that. And then finally, I have a stand-up pop-up card. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and be sure to subscribe so you'll be able to see these projects when they're complete.